Hello and welcome to the Trading Post podcast, where we unlock the secrets of business-to-business trade, dive into powerful networking strategies, and share my exciting journey of using a podcast to market my business instead of relying on SEO. I'm your host, Trader Stu. Hello and welcome back to the Trading Post. I am your host, of course, Trader Stu. You ever wake up, pour that first cup of coffee, and feel like the world is shifting under your feet, even before the caffeine kicks in? Yeah, that's what it felt like this morning for me. Because today, the global headlines aren't just noise, they're signals. Signals that tell us where the winds are blowing, and whether small businesses like yours and mine need to brace, adjust, or double down. I'm your host, like I said, Trader Stu, and today we're taking a journey, a story where the world is heading, and how every shift out there trickles down to the main street. So settle in and let's step into the storm. So the world tilts. The first ripple in today's story comes from global markets. Economists are projecting sturdy global growth of about 2.8% for 2026, with the U.S. expected to outperform thanks to lighter tariff pressure and easier financial conditions. Good news, right? But here's the twist. Back home, small business optimism dipped a bit in January, and even though sales expectations climbed and more owners reported higher capital spending, it's like we're walking through the fog with a flashlight. And if you're in Metro Detroit, you know what the fog's like right now. The path forward exists, but it's hazy. Owners can sense opportunity, but even as uncertainty hangs overhead, and right there, that tension is the heart of today's episode. So picture this, a map of the world glowing with hotspots, not of heat, but of tension. Because according to a World Economic Forum, the global risk in 2026 isn't climate or tech or even recession. It's geoeconomic confrontation. That nations using trade, currency, and economic policy as weapons. Governments everywhere are shifting forward, muscular economic intervention, becoming players on the field, not just the referees. Businesses now face a world where regulations change fast. Alliance shifts overnight and access to markets become unpredictable. For small businesses, that means one thing. The global supply chain is no longer stable background scenery. It's an active fault line. Maybe your product relies on parts from China, or your price depends on smooth shipping routes. Or maybe you're just one disrupted vendor away from a bad quarter. In 2026, business as usual is no longer a safe bet. Let me take you inside a boardroom, 1,000 executives surveyed by IBM, sitting across glass tables, staring at charts, data, risk maps. What did they say? 96% of them believed the fast, high-stakes decisions that made last year, often involving AI, were the right ones. And 95% geopolitical risk is forcing them to move even faster. Meanwhile, the International Council for Small Business tells us something remarkable. AI isn't just leveling the playing field, it's also helping solo founders scale globally. One-person operations are becoming micro multinationals. That's where our story shifts tone, because this is where you, the small business owner, gain superpowers. Anxiety about the future? Sure. But opportunity is knocking harder than ever. Then the next headline hits. Retail is stirring back to life. Wayfair, after years of struggle, just posted its first annual sales gain since 2020, outperforming the furniture market, and in China, luxury spending rebounded after Lunar New Year festivities, signaling stronger demand across multiple supply chains. Back in the U.S., small business owners are planning more capital purchases and expecting higher sales in coming months. Consumers aren't just spending, they're selective. International and reward businesses delivering real value. This is the moment to refine your brand, tighten your pricing strategy, and double down on customer experience. But beneath all that optimism, something is shifting underground. S&P Global warns that the explosion of AI data centers worldwide is creating new energy and resource strains, including pressure on critical minerals and electricity infrastructure. At the same time, geopolitical analysts say water scarcity is emerging as a binding constraint, determining where semiconductor fabs and data centers can even be built. What does that mean for small businesses? Well, tech prices may rise and cloud costs may fluctuate, and hardware shortages could return, and anything involving logistics or power-intensive services gets more expensive. The digital world you rely on is becoming more fragile, even as it becomes more essential. The World Economic Forum reports that SMEs make up 90% of businesses globally, fueling half of the world's GDP, but they're being held back by access to capital and digital skills. Meanwhile, headlines out in Africa and Latin America tell stories of shifting political tides, booming youth populations, and new economic frameworks that could reshape global markets. Why should small businesses in the U.S. care? Well, because U.S. greater supplier, customer base, digital partner, and competitor may become regions once considered emerging. In 2026, every business is global, whether it realizes it or not. So, here's where the story becomes a real strategy. Recheck your pricing model. Cost and consumer willingness are shifting. Stay ahead of both. Audit your supply chain. One weak link can break everything in a world of geopolitical tension. Adopt one AI tool this quarter. It can automate tasks, deepen insights, or enhance customer experience. Strengthen your digital footprint. SEO, social websites. This is your storefront now. Explore global opportunities. New markets are open digitally. Don't wait until someone else to claim that for them. So the world we're living in is loud, it's chaotic and uncertain. But inside the chaos are pathways, hidden routes for those willing to look deeper and act faster. And that's what we do here at the Trading Post. And I wanted to mention a couple other things. There was a huge center, they say it was a power outage out in San Francisco, California, that affected websites across, multiple sectors. YouTube was out, I think they said for half an hour. I think the Amazon storefront was down. I know our website at Metro Trading Association was hit and down. It was just not even like, you go to the webpage and it would just say, it was a white screen, I think, after a spinning wheel of death for a moment. We had to reroute the DNS and all that stuff, we got it taken care of. But, that there's not a peep of that. I wonder why. Doesn't that make you wonder, did you hear anything about it? If you look for it, you can find it. You can see that there was an outage, but it's in none of the headlines that I saw in the news, or even when I searched for it. I saw one YouTube video that talked about it, and there was some conspiracy theory about why they did it, and it was a intentional glitch to reset the AI bots, but that didn't do anything because I was on YouTube again, of course, today or whatever, and it's the same AI videos that have always been there. Nothing changed. So that definitely wasn't it. I think it was maybe a hack. I don't know. With us going into Iran probably this weekend, I would say we're going to probably start attacking, or maybe next weekend. But, Iran is big into the cyber attack. That's what they do. They're big on cyber hits. So maybe that was just a test to see if they can get in and infiltrate things. I don't know. But, watch your tail out there, because once they start hitting up the U.S. market and your personal bank accounts, I myself will probably be changing my password and all that stuff today for my banking information, because I haven't done it in a while. So, change your passwords, update things, all the important stuff. Not everything. My God, everything has got its own password these days, but your banking information is a big one. Maybe your emails. My email was hit for a while, and that was super annoying. I got 3 or 4 of them, but it's still, you don't want people sending out emails on your behalf that are garbage. I think that's what was happening. Anyway, what else is there going on this week? Just a crazy week. It went by fast and slow at the same time. I don't know about you. Everyone talks about, the shift in energy. I know I've been sleeping more than ever and been dragging throughout the day, even though I've gotten more than my usual 5 or 4 hours of sleep. I'm getting maybe 7 or something like that now. And it doesn't feel like it. In fact, I feel more tired now throughout the day with more sleep than I did with far less sleep with just a few hours that I've been accustomed to the last probably decade or more. So I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of sum it all up with a storytelling type podcast today. And Have a great rest of the week, weekend, all that good stuff. Be good or be good at it. Bye-bye.